Connected to iPhone.
So Eminem just dropped this album out of nowhere. He said a lot of names. I'm just gonna go through it. I'm gonna play them all by the artist, and then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna say like, I'm gonna give y'all context on like what the he's talking about, because some of the shit y'all might not get or like might not understand it. First up, Drake. You already know what people been saying about Drake. Ghostwriting. He says like shit about ghostwriting like 3 times.
Still, I don't have any manners. You got a couple of ghostwriters, but to these kids it don't actually matter. Kiss my disrespectful ass. I ride through your cul-de-sac window, crack open your reference tracks. You collaborative effort rap. I have never said his raps. All I know is I wrote every single word of everything I ever murdered. Time to separate the sheep from goats. And I got no faith in your writers. I don't believe in ghosts. You got some views, but you're still below me. Mine are higher, so when you compare our views, you get overlooked. Rappers are like Hunger Games. 1 minute they're mocking Jake, next minute they get their stuff from Migos, so they copy Drake.
So Drake and Jay-Z have been kind of going back and forth, like real light, nothing too heavy as far as disses and stuff, but they have been going at it. So I think that's the mocking Jay he's talking about. And then he says, got their style from Migos, so they copy Drake. Drake has been accused of using the Migos flow, I think a couple times. I know it was one time on Nothing Was the Same.
Just waited for this moment, like that feature when I stole the show. Sorry if I took forever.
Another shot at Drake, not really a shot, but when, you know, old like beat switch will make songs for chicks, which is basically Drake.
Everybody doing chick joints, probably rob these little dudes at Fist Point. Somebody tell Button before I stab him, better fasten it, or have his body back as if the closest thing he's had to hits a smacking bitch.
That's bars. Joe Budden podcast about to be lit. But he's just saying like Joe Budden never had hits besides when he hit his girl. So like fuck.
Ain't gonna make me have to give it back to academics. Say this shit is trash again. I'll have you twisted like you had it when you thought you had me. Slipping at the telly, even when I'm getting brain, you'll never catch me with a thought.
So Academics is like hip hop TMZ, but it's just like one guy, and he just just talks about rap news. He basically was all over the fact that this video of Eminem and this chick got leaked, and this chick came to his room or something. I forget what it was, but
But you see, when you remove reason and sequential thinking and active attacking of is this being the case, then, and it has made us then think, well, we have to accommodate him. We have to get along with him. Oh, he's going to, we have to live with him because they are in control and so forth. Well, that leads to a type of attitude toward learning. That means that you're not going to try to outlearn him, outthink him, outmaneuver him, you see. So if you're going for mastery, you see, then the knowledge becomes very important, and you see it as a tool for advancing your empowered interests in the world. If you're not going for mastery, you just see it as a means of being able to carry out efficiently the orders that are handed down. It also limits creativity, because if we are to defeat the European, we are to master this earth and take back this earth from the European, then we must outthink the European. We must then be creative. That puts the learning emphasis on the how-ness, the how to think as such, and to the use of knowledge as a tool of mastery. It's a very different kind of thinking, very different emphasis there.
Let me ask you this, backflipping some. We talked earlier about the fact that, and I sometimes want to get down a little more practical implication of what this means. As a result, you see, of the control and the paternalism of Europeans over black people. You see, the other thing that we must recognize, even if the European becomes good, and nice and accepts us and so forth. The fact that he would still be in control creates what we might call a benevolent paternalism, which still to a great degree helps to maintain this passive mode of thinking, this passive mode of knowledge. Now, when you get into the classroom, you see a child then that wants to be told what the answers are instead of how the answer can be attained. For instance, sometimes in my class, I give an exam, and we're looking at the results of the exam. And the first question you would get sometimes is, well, what is the answer to so-and-so and so-and-so? And I had to say, look, you must find that answer yourself and dig it up. The emphasis is quite often then on memorizing the answer. So therefore, reasoning as a tool for finding the answer is thrown out as such. And the child then is handicapped in that if he has not memorized the answer, then he fails the exam because he either knows the answer or does not know the answer. You get what we call one-shot thinking. You say, I'll shoot and guess at the answer. Quite often, it gets into a kind of thinking that depends upon personal feelings. Often I find in my classroom, which is predominantly black, sometimes that I have to get the students to separate personal feelings and hunches from dealing with a problem as a problem that is susceptible to reason, not as a problem that has an emotional attachment to it as such. But you see, when you remove reason and sequential thinking and active attacking of a problem as the mode of approach, then the person is thrown back on memorizing, on guessing, on going with impulses, and on being unsystematic in their approach to knowledge, upon waiting for someone else to give the answer. So what you see quite often with the black child in the classroom is somewhat of a miniature reflection of the orientation of black adults to white people. For instance, to a great extent, black people look at Reagan as some kind of white daddy, and we see this kind of business, please, in a sense, Daddy Reagan, don't do this, or are we waiting for Daddy Kennedy to come back into the White House? And rarely do we hear a discussion about what are we as black adults going to do to solve our problem. You see, this is communicated to our children, and it's communicated in a way that they too wait for the answer. Blacks think that we've been misled by our leadership, for instance, that think that we can consume our way into equality, and sees equality as an equality of materials. So if I have the same car as a white person, if I have the same house as a white person, a similar job, then I'm equal. But you cannot consume yourself into equality. You must produce yourself into equality, and you move into equality and beyond by productive thinking. Because as long as you're consuming knowledge or you're consuming materials, the guy who is giving it to you or selling it to you is producing at the same time, which means that you never catch up with him because he's always 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. To a good extent, many of our students go into schools, college as well as secondary levels, consuming, and their minds are not being developed to produce the true means by which they will accomplish equality. Everything else is sham.
Just a personal note, when I was going to school, okay, an illustrious college in this area, I found many of the European philosophies, concepts, etc., to be totally irrelevant to my position in the world. And in my effort to come up with some kind of Afrocentric view, that I was stifled and received your C's and D's. How does the student, this is the question, how does the student who perceives that maybe Shakespeare, Milton, and these other people do not provide them with the crucial answers that they must find, how should they deal in this kind of environment?
That's a pretty difficult question in the sense of the kind of control that's maintained in the environment. It sort of leads to
what I may call sort of a subterfuge, where sometimes you have to produce, as the Bible verse says, give unto Caesar what Caesar's, and at the same time, though, develop your own. Meaning that the black student quite often is placed in a position of having to regurgitate to his instructors what it is they see as important, while at the same time, outside of that sphere, developing his or her own knowledge through his or her own self-instruction as such. The other facet related to that is, I don't know whether we should really depend upon the European-oriented university to provide us with our cultural education.
This is not European I'm talking about.
But many black institutions are European.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Very European-oriented as such. And the problem is, you have in many instances with the so-called many black professors is the fact that they essentially are representatives of the European point of view. And the only philosophies and orientation they too have learned have been those philosophies and orientation. I think it means that quite often the student's job that was begun in the 60s, where we established African Studies and Black Studies program, has to be completed in the sense where these programs are not just mere electives or things you do while you have nothing else to do. They should be required, in a sense, for black students, and they should, in a sense, be the very first programs that a black student takes.
Why is why is, say, Shakespeare more important than Langston Hughes or James Baldwin? Somebody, why is that?
Because the Europeans perceive themselves as more important than non-white people, and it justifies their so-called superior position as such. It maintains and it helps to maintain the so-called unimportance of non-white people as such. I mean, Hughes belonging to that category would not be permitted to be elevated there. It helps to maintain, of course, the power relationship as such, and to also build in values in the black student, to value what is not his as being more important, which then focuses his attentions and energies on what is European. In a sense, it helps to maintain what I call that hypnotized state as such. See, I don't see them as being valuable in the sense of teaching more providing more knowledge. I see them as a part of the mechanism for maintaining a system of controls, and which is maintained not so much by knowledge, but by the refocusing of attention, the maintaining, and by the establishment and building in of values. It also reduces the revolutionary potential of black people, because you cannot revolt against a people whose values you share. And therefore, it makes the educated black, were he educated along Afrocentric lines and along philosophies that were very distinct and different from European philosophy, that would set him up then to actually then rebel against Eurocentric psychology and philosophy as such. But since he values that philosophy, the only thing that he can ultimately do is seek reformations to reform the systems, which is pretty much where black leadership has been set. Now, it's not a leadership that's seeking to bring about a new world order, for instance, a world order that's based on, say, different philosophies, but one that seeks merely to share the material culture of whites.
We talked a little while ago about, we mentioned Milton and Shakespeare. This touches on something that you talked about earlier, and that is the Marva Collins story out of Chicago, the black lady who did some miraculous, quote, miraculous thing, quote, miraculous thing.
In the context of this culture, yes.
Right, with some black kids, excuse me. Deal with that, if you will.
Yeah, Marva Collins has become quite a celebrity here lately, particularly as a result of her being on this so-called 60 Minutes segment, and as well as a recent drama based on her life. And I think deservedly so, in that she was able, through her own educational efforts, to elevate the intellectual functioning of black children who ordinarily would have been consigned to those categories we mentioned in the earlier show as being learning disabled and unable to read, and move them to such a level that they, as 8th grade students, were reading at high school or beyond high school level, that their scores level on various standardized tests were 4 and 5 grade levels beyond what they were, what they would normally be as such. And that is somewhat of a miracle in this country when you've been fed the philosophy that black children cannot learn and that they are not interested in learning and they have all of these deficits. It illustrates in a very practical way that a caring person, a concerned person or teacher in this instance, can change and revolutionize a child's way of thinking and dealing with the world and elevating that child's level of thinking. It has many other things about it too that I think are commendable. One of the things is that we as black people can elevate the thinking levels and change the thinking levels of our children in any way we desire if we assume control of their education. And one of the things that you find constantly, and Marva Collins is one of many situations where black children are reading now 3 or 4 grade levels, or doing math 3 or 4 grade levels beyond their current grade. That's merely one story among many. You go almost into any major urban area now, you can find black academies that are accomplishing very much the same thing in terms of scoring. The first thing you find then is, of course, that control is necessary. To have control over the learning process. I think where the integrationists misled us is in thinking that after people have told you that they don't want your children, that they think your children are inferior, that they don't think they can learn. And after we know that these people maintain their position,
we look and we see the condition of African people today. On the bottom, as Garvey noted so many years ago, everywhere he went, the African man,
probably right at about 20 hours now.
The economic, social, and political.
Good morning, man.
Those circumstances have not changed. In many instances, they are getting worse. We will find, if you go to Barnes and Nobles and some of the others, numbers of books asking, can the African survive? Our very survival into the next century is in question. I often note that our children looked at the series Star Wars, and I noted that in the beginning of that series, there were no black people in the movie at all. And I noted that whenever then the European looks into the future, there is not a black man there. They had animals, robots, and everything else, operating rocket ships and so forth, but not a black man was there. Which means then, ladies and gentlemen, those who think that they're in control of creating the future do not see the African man there at all. This means then ultimately, if we look at the task that our children must perform, that the basic task of the European child is conservative. To conserve and maintain the advantages that the European already has, and to enhance those advantages. So that means they're rearing in their homes, in their communities. That means their education then is basically conservative. Because since they already have the advantage, they seek then to maintain that advantage. When we then look at the African child, we see a very different future. And I've often said then that future is revolutionary. Given the condition that our people are in today, our education cannot be then conservative. If we are to save our people from starvation, if we are to remove our people from the bottom of economic, political, and social ladders, then we must overturn the current orders of the world. That in and of itself makes it very clear that they cannot receive the same education as the white child. They cannot be
Hey, Ty, what's
reared
good, bro?
the same way
Good morning.
the white child is reared, because they have very, very different tasks to perform. It is when we recognize then the future task that our children must perform, and when we reflect on that task, we then use those future tasks and knowledge of those future tasks to reorganize our present circumstances, to reorganize the schools, to reorganize our relations one to the other, to reorganize our perception of ourselves, and yea, even to reorganize our history. Because history is alive and history is present. As I pointed out in Newark of last week, history is the present and history is the future. In European systems, we have a linear approach to the world, an approach that makes one believe that history is something that is left behind. History is something that can be forgotten. No, ladies and gentlemen, history is never left behind. In the human mind, the history is now, and in the human mind, the history is present. For the future is made of things that were made in the past. Without past, there is no future. In order for us to be in the condition we're in, we must literally be turned backwards as a people. We must be reversed, because this world can only be ruled in terms of lies. When you have a minority of people, a 10% of the world's population, a 10% of the world's population whose lands are not inherently wealthy, whose lands have no natural resources, ruling over the other 90%, then that other 90% must be kept out of its mind. That other 90% must exist in a state of deception. That other 90% must live then in a reversed situation and in a backward situation. Therefore, that other 90% must accept the lie as truth and the truth as lies. I've said that the major differentiation between Eurocentrically oriented psychology and Afrocentrically oriented psychology under oppression is that it is a political necessity that the black man be out of his mind. It is not merely the result of the interaction you had with your mother or your father. It is not merely the result of the absence of your father in the home, or the absence of role models in your communities, or all of these other things we hear day in and day out. It is not merely the result of that. It is ultimately the result of the need for the European to maintain power and domination. And these things are but an effect of that need. You had 2 Sundays ago a bunch of Negroes trying to explain the disparity between the education of black females and black males. A pathetic situation. Pitiful. They went to Yale, went to the University of Chicago. The experts that they had what? Set up. And of course those experts gave them the answers that they wanted to hear. And then they're presented to African people as experts. But if they'd gone to the people themselves, I'm sure they would have got a different set of names and a different set of people. But those people did not appear in that paper. So we get people putting effects as causes. You say, oh, it's the absence of the black male model in the neighborhood. But how does the absence of the black male model occur? Why is it necessary for that absence to be there? That is never dealt with and discussed. It never gets around. So you have a bunch of experts discussing secondary situations and minor situations and making them appear to be major. That is why they're teaching at the University of Chicago and Yale. Because those institutions are just as much and more of a part of European domination as any other institution. And yet we say that they give us a good education. And we talk and we feel so good when we send our children there without any African consciousness. They are being sent there to be destroyed. So then we have to then look at the schools, because it is in the schools, it is in the colleges and universities that the black man and woman, the black child, the black boy and girl must be taught to be dumb. That is the purpose of the schools. Let us recognize it. If the European can only exist to the extent that we are not in control of our common sense, that we are not in control of our identity, that we are not in control of a shared collective activity level, if the European can only exist and dominate as a result of the fact that we are not in love with ourselves and with our people, if the European can only be in control as a result of the fact that we have not fully developed our technological thinking capacities and the ability to concretize those capacities, then why do you think those abilities and those personality characteristics are going to be taught in European-oriented schools? It doesn't make any sense. The European is not going to teach his enemy to overthrow it, and yet some of us think that that will be the case. There is hardly any African in the world that is ever given a European education. You know, we hear some people talk about, well, that he has a white mind, or he thinks like white folk. Black people are not taught to think like white folk. You can sit in the white university as long as you want to. You'll never be taught to think like a white man. You can even learn the same thing in terms of course content as the white boy and girl, the white student. You can learn it even better. You can come out summa cum laude, and you still have not received a white education. No, sir. You get a Negro education no matter where you go in the system. I wouldn't complain. I often tell people, you know who thinks more like a white man? If you want to use those terms, I'm putting those in parentheses. A Farrakhan. Yeah. Yes. How do we say that? Because you see, if you're taught to think like a white man, like white people, you want your own nation. That's what white folk want. You'd want to own your own neighborhoods. That's the way white folk think. You'd want to control your own economy. That's the way white folk think. You want to have your own army. That's the way white folk think, ladies and gentlemen. These people going to these colleges don't think like white folk. They don't come out determined to control their destiny. They don't come out determined to create their own nations and places in the world. They don't come out determined to control military strength and economic strength and other strength. They are coming out the same way their slave great-grandparents came out. That is, to be servants, and to be highly educated servants. That is why a Farrakhan frightens them, because they see themselves in a Farrakhan who says, I don't want to sleep with your women. I don't want to marry women. I don't want to live among you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're dirty, rotten, and regressed as a people. You represent a destructive force in the world. And we are going to remove you from power. And we are here to see that your influence on the world ceases and is put to an end. We are here to take rightful control of the wealth that is under the lands of our people and take rightful control of our minds. We are here to put you in your 10% place in the world itself. They see that. Where are you getting that kind of education? In the Yales and Harvards? And yet, ladies and gentlemen, that's the only kind of education that's worth anything. I've often said there that the function of education is not to get jobs and all this other baloney you hear every day. Secondary. The ultimate function of education is to secure the survival of the people. What good would it do you to know computer engineering and all the other stuff if you can be blown away at any moment by another people? If you're manipulated by another people? If the other people continue to maintain the instruments and the power of production? What does it mean to have knowledge when the AIDS can be let loose on the African community and destroy our communities? Knowledge is not enough. Knowledge must be welded to purpose. It must be welded to a sense of peoplehood. It must be welded to a sense of destiny. And that is when it becomes protective of a people. You may fill your head with knowledge and skills all you want to, but you can be destroyed by AIDS and all other kinds of germs and all other kinds of warfare and lethal weapons and all other kinds of controlled instruments that the European has in its power. Until that knowledge and education is welded to a sense of nationhood, you are not receiving a good education at all. And therefore, a good education must be measured in terms of the degree to which it protects your survival and interests as a people, and not otherwise. So then we see an attempt then in the European school to distort and to retard the potentialities of the African mind. And the education is designed to do that. And you say to yourself, well, okay, but I know some people who think technologically and this and that, and they got through, you know. Of course, we can say a lot about that. But let us just note this. Sure, you know some people who are very important at NASA, who make great instruments, perhaps that are flown out on the space shuttle and all of this kind of stuff. Great. But look at the nature of that knowledge and look to where that knowledge is applied and to whose benefit it is applied before you get too happy about it.
Hey, Mr. Wilson.
What happens when the African person educated in Eurocentric schools does manage to maintain a mathematical mind, a highly logical, brilliant mind, is often that mind is alienated in the sense that it is permitted to maintain its logical and other functions only at the price of separating that individual emotionally, socially, and culturally from his or her people. So that the knowledge and skills cannot be used in the interest of the people, but in the interest of the enemy. As we often say, when one is alienated so that one's capacities and ability can only be used for whose benefit? The benefit of aliens. That That's the source of strangers, of people other than ourselves. That is the reason why I've said often that the more degrees we get in business administration, the fewer businesses we have to administer. That is the reason I've said often that there is almost a monotonal relationship between the number of blacks and African Americans receiving degrees in economics and the number of Korean businesses on 125th Street. It's no strange coincidence then that as we get more and more MBAs out here, we get more and more Korean businesses on 125th Street. Isn't that a strange situation? Paradoxical, but it's really not that paradoxical. We've noted here now that on 125th Street, there are approaching 70 Korean businesses on that street. You try to name me 20 black ones on that street. And yet there are 95% of the people on that street that shop on that street are black people, African Americans. Where are the MBAs? Where are the PhDs in economics who went to the Wharton School of Finance? Where are those people with their knowledge? Because the knowledge is alienated, it cannot work for African people. It can only work for the other people. So don't be so proud of yourself because you might have gotten through MIT and you may be a mathematical genius. See where and how you can apply that genius in the interest of the survival of African people. If you cannot do so, then you have been alienated and you have become a part of your own oppression. So we can see then this mind is controlled by the nature of its inputs.
Nothing but straight psychology this morning, son. Y'all ain't take no psychology classes.
You see, in the African American,
I didn't take psychology classes in university either, but I get my psychology at home.
the adoption of foreign methods not related to his African background nor to his political economic realities. And the major problem today in the economic development of black people is the lack of an economic system based on what I call a sound cultural analysis. And I don't mean a cultural analysis that goes on talking about how white folks mistreated us. That is not a cultural analysis, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of people here just doing endless research on how white people mistreated black people and getting all fired up over these kind of issues, instead of looking deep into the heart and soul and mentality of black people and looking deep into the character of black people and looking deeply at the organization of money and economy within the black community and using that analysis to create a realistic system. We got a lot of fools here reading Marx and other kinds of people whose analysis is based upon Europeans and who didn't come in with preconceived ideas to impose upon the African situation. And one thing I pointed out again and again and again, you can look at any African society, and whether it is Marxist, socialist, capitalist, or any other kind of ist, it is poor compared to its European people. And that must recognize then that the problem we confront is deeper than subscribing to European doctrines of Adam Smith and Marx. That subscribing to these European doctrines are not the solutions to our problems. Marxist theory is based upon an analysis of European culture, and his economic recommendations are based upon that analysis. And we have some fools here who want to call it scientific, and as if it's somehow universal and above and untouchable. And yet when they look at it in country after country in Africa and other places that have subscribed to it without being realistic about their economic and social position in the world, they can see that it has not benefited very much those nations and those people. And yet they react by holding on even more tenaciously to a philosophy that even the Russians are throwing out, that even the Chinese are throwing aside. And everybody's throwing aside but this Negro, the poorest of all, who is still trying to hold on to it for dear life and is not surviving. Does that mean Marx's ideas are no good? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. Does that mean we can't use it? No, I'm not saying that either. What I am saying, though, is develop your economic and social philosophy based upon your own political and social reality first. Now, you may find, as I have found when I look directly at the heart and soul of our people, that many of your conclusions may coincidentally parallel those of Marx. But the origin is not Marx. The origin is from our own selves. And that means that those ideas are our possession. And we don't have to ask white Marxists or any other group to interpret them for us. Any other group doesn't come into us and say, well, you know, our people started and Marx was a Jew or whatever. You know, we have the right to interpret what he meant by this and that. We don't have to deal with that. We can deal with it because we've developed it out of our own hearts and our own soul and our own reality. When I was trying to go into this, it puzzled me for a long time. Where is the black money? Where is it? You know? Black people, we hear again and again, if you look at the collective earnings and resources of black people in America, you have to recognize that they are the 9th or 10th richest nation on this earth. That we trade more with this country than does the whole nation of Canada. That we represent a tremendous amount of wealth. And that the problem then with the black community is not a problem of poverty, but it is the correct utilization of the wealth that we have and the correct development of the wealth that we have as people. It is the malallocation of the money that we have, not the lack of money at all. I was interested in one example he gave here of the Japanese tailor who was selling suits for $35. And he's selling to other poor Japanese who could not pay $35 at one time for a suit. So how do they solve the problem? The tailor's got to stay in business. The other people need a suit. Do they go down to SBA and apply for a loan? They could afford $5 a week, though. So they pull 7 people together. Then the 7 put in their $5, and the first man gets his $35 suit. The tailor gets paid. The other man takes the suit home. And the next week, the next $35 come in, and on it go. And the money revolves, and the wealth revolves, and there's growth and development within the community, you see. Not looking outside of themselves, but looking where? Within themselves. Because ultimately, that is the source of wealth. Not being externalized, but internalized and looking into themselves as the basis of wealth. And using the revolving credit. These people did not go on welfare because they saw the welfare of their people as being their responsibility. And they organized in groups and clans and so forth and saw to the welfare of their members so that it was not necessary for them to go on welfare. And they took care of their members. And it served some other social and political purposes as well. It's very interesting to note those purposes. Contrast that with the Urban League and the social work approach that we find so prevalent in our community. That does not harness the resources of the so-called poor and use those resources and recirculate those resources and organize the poor in a way that their money can increase and be used for their advantage, but, takes a social work approach of delivering services from some external agency on to the people. ethos within the Japanese society was that you had to be a member of that society. And you were connected in that society. You were unified with the group. And it's within the context of this unity and membership that protection for the members take place. I realized as I tried to develop this business over here that the problem was not money in getting this business, you know, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, you know, you must have been
Paul Mooney is like, it's like Gordon Ramsay. What the hell? Damn, I ain't never heard that shit. Paul Mooney is like Gordon Ramsay. He's always yelling at me. Yo. Damn. Yo, Paul Mooney, he get loud sometimes. I like that shit talking about motherfuckers tell me not to say nigga. I'm gonna keep saying nigga. It makes my teeth white. I say it 100 times when I wake up in the morning. Nigga, 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 nigga. And I was like, what the fuck? It makes my teeth white. Yo, Mooney is fucking crazy. That's one of them old heads like, I wish I could have known him when he was like 20. Like a 20-year-old Paul Mooney. Oh my God. I was watching some Paul Mooney stuff the other day. It starts out with, they had one clip at the beginning of his son at their old house saying, we don't even hardly be here no more, but my dad won't sell this house because this is where I grew up at, or some shit like that. Man, this lamp's starting to get hot, bro.
But my idea was if the Asians could pay their rent in Harlem and make a living using only whose money? Black folks' money. Black folks' money. They're not even using Asian money up there. The Koreans are not even coming up there to do their shopping. And the others, they shopping somewhere in Koreatown, maybe somewhere else. Okay? Hispanics, you know, it's our money supporting their families, paying that rent. And believe me, rent on 125th Street can go as high as $5,000 or more a month. Favorite Shoes pays $10,000 a month right on their corner. But they have employees there, ladies and gentlemen. They're making money there. That implies what? That there is money over there. And if you can support this kind of rent with our kind of money, then we can support our own people with this kind of money. We can employ our own children with this kind of money. We can train and apprentice our own youth. We can get them out of the idea of having to steal and do the other kind of things that they do in these other places. We can build respect for self. I might have mentioned the fact I ran into one lady one evening. She mentioned that she lived out there somewhere. And I saw some sick Negro piece in New York Magazine. This a very ill piece. If you read this one here. Blacks at the top. Read this confusion. Very, 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 very ill. Pitiful. Because it shows they've reached the top and they still have problems. Identity problems and all kinds of other problems. That Frazier talked about even years ago in the Black Bourgeoisie. And somebody said, I'm scared to go to Harlem. You know, this kind of bit. Scared. It is a pity when you become more frightened among your own people than you do among another group of people. That is a real indictment, and many of us have that kind of fear. And we talk about the Howard Beaches, but still, on the whole, many of us still feel a little safer walking in those communities or some other communities than we do in our own. That is a major indictment of us as people. And who are we frightened of? of our youth, that they're going to snatch our pocketbooks, they're going to stab us, they're going to do something to us. And that's a real fear, and it's a fear that has to be dealt with. Now, I'm not saying this is an illusion. It's real. And I'm not covering it over. It's a fear. It's a real concern. But what is the solution? To run out to Westchester? To run out here? Is that the end point of it? Not at all. In fact, that is a part of the basis for that fear having been created. And I told her, so you, and she said, oh, they don't give me any respect. But it's interesting that you want respect from these youngsters when you're hardly contributing anything to their economic and social development at all. Why should they respect you? When you take your monies and your brain power and your other interests out and give it to another people, in a way, their anger and hostility has a certain logic to it. Because we've betrayed them. We have not given them an economic and social system and political system and network. We have not given them their inheritance and their due. We've robbed them of their inheritance. And consequently, they strike back at us with the only weapons that they're left with dishonor and with disrespect. And when we speak, they don't listen. Why should they? You don't pay my bills, right? You pay them right. What do we have to say about it? We are not feeding them. We are not caring for them. It's Big Daddy White Man. He's the ultimate papa in the world. So the only person I need to listen to is that one. And therefore, we're to get back our self-respect and the respect of our children. Then we have to establish control over our economic and social situation. The ownership of 125th Street, the ownership of all of these other streets around here, the ownership of downtown Manhattan is greater than any series of 10,000 lectures about the greatness of African people. I'm telling you. It's a contradiction to talk to your children about the greatness of African people. And then when they walk out, the whole community and everything is owned by somebody else. It's a joke. And in the end, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to be bothered with it. Because it doesn't develop into anything concrete, usable, a type of pride that doesn't take them anywhere, and they see often only leads them to trouble. And a kind of radicalism that doesn't permit them to become, quote-unquote, a part of the so-called mainstream. African nationalism must pay. We must demonstrate to people that believing in this ideology is not taking the side of poverty and degradation, but is a movement into wealth, and a movement into power, and a movement into greatness. And this is a part of the thing I'm about there. I'm trying to demonstrate, hey, I believe in Africa. I love Africa. I am African. And I believe in the greatness of my people. And it pays. It pays. There's wealth connected with this belief. There's power connected with this belief. There's strength and respect connected with this belief. Not just an empty knowledge of history and an empty boasting that tries to substitute for a hungry stomach, but something that's real, that translates into real power. And this is what we must demonstrate. And when our children go up out and see that, the Africanness is absorbed into their very bone marrow. It becomes a part of their lifeblood. And there's no reason why we cannot think of taking over the economic reins of this country. When we look at what the thing that I learned there, and the thing that I think you see in these many examples that Light gives here, is not so much the money. but the social relationship between people as being the very key. The social relationship and interrelationship between people. These systems cannot work unless there is trust, unless there is confidence. That's one of our major problems today. That often Manhattan is greater than any series of 10,000 lectures about the greatness of African people. I'm telling you. It's a contradiction to talk to your children about the greatness of Africa. The people. And then when they walk out, you know, the whole community and everything is owned by somebody else.
Hank Bogart.
It's a joke. And in the end, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to be bothered with it. Because it doesn't develop into anything concrete, usable, a type of pride that doesn't take them anywhere, and they see often only leads them to trouble. And a kind of radicalism that doesn't permit them to become, quote unquote, a part of the so-called mainstream. African nationalism must pay. We must demonstrate to people that believing in this ideology is not taking the side of poverty and degradation, but is a movement into wealth, and a movement into power, and a movement into greatness. And this is a part of the thing I'm about there. I'm trying to demonstrate, hey, I believe in Africa. I love Africa. I am African. And I believe in the greatness of my people. And it what? It pays. It pays. There's wealth connected with this belief. There's power connected with this belief. There's strength and respect connected with this belief. Not just an empty knowledge of history and an empty boasting that tries to substitute for a hungry stomach, but something that's real, that translates into real power. And this is what we must demonstrate. And when our children walk out and see that, the Africanness is absorbed into their very bone marrow. It becomes a part of their lifeblood. And there's no reason why we cannot think of taking over the economic reins of this country. When we look at what the thing that I learned there, and the thing that I think you see in these many examples that Light gives here, is not so much the money, but the social relationship between people as being the very key. The social relationship and interrelationship between people. These systems cannot work unless there is trust, unless there is confidence in one another. Some of these associations work because they were kinship groups. Some of them work because they came from the same village or carried the same last name. But they came from some cultural entity that tied them together emotionally and socially, such that they could trust each other. They could make laws there without collateral, because their word was their bond, and it was important that their family honor be kept high, because that was the basis for which they gained their wealth to advance their economic and social interests, you see. So that when I say something, I say it because my family will back me up, and even if I fail, my family will see that my debt is paid. Because it is dishonorable for me to make this pledge to you from my village, from my people, from my background, and not pay you back. And the whole family was a part of that, you see. And you can see then it was the social relationships more so than the banks or any other financial instrument that we look so much to today that was the foundation of the growth and development of these people and allowed them to move forward. And I recognize in my own business development over there, it was the same thing as I told you. I lost my job last year because of the kinds of stands I take. But I saw this place there. And how did I get it? Because I had talked to a guy in friendship one day. Comes up to the shop, we just talked. Oh yeah, I remember you. You used to be on the radio. You used to be the communicator. You know, and some of you may remember the communicator back in the 60s, 70s, RVR. Beautiful vignettes of black life and the whole bit. And we just talked and reminisce, and you know, there's a whole beautiful social moment there of connection. And we became friends. And then I saw this place to be rented there. I went downtown and I said, let me see who owns this place so I can see what the rent is. Still no money in my pocket, you know. And I was telling people, because the first question they often ask was, what's the rent? And right away when they hear the rent, they approve. So I think don't ask the rent and don't ask about where you're going to get the money from. Cue in on what you want to do. And start about doing it as if you have what is necessary to get it done. And you'd be surprised at how things begin to fall in place for you. And then it forces you to begin to be creative, you see, in your thought processes and things like this, and to look at alternatives and things that were not visible before. They become visible then, but if you give up at the first instant when you hear that rent, then all the other parts are never going to come up. It's nil from that point on. I looked in there and I said, oh, this place is rented by Harlem Commonwealth Council. Let me call them up and ask about it. And when I call up, who answers the phone but the person I had talked to? Hey, this is you. Yeah, this is you. I'm in now. And of course, here comes these forms. What was your earning last year? You know, all of those kinds of things. But I had a friend there. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't have your accountants send us. I don't have that, man. I'm not, you don't have that kind of thing, you know. This is my idea. This is my dream. This is, where I want to go with it. Couldn't you send this? No, I can't do that now. Hey, I'm fight for you. I'm going to struggle for you. And he fought and he struggled, you know, and there were people that didn't want to do business as usual. And he got through.
All right,
So
guys.
the next part was, how the hell am I going to get rid of him? I got that. Creative thinking, though. Let's get a partner. Somebody's got a house here. You know, paid for. Oh, you got to take chances. You got to take risks. I mean, it's no business. And a lot of us want to go into business without taking risks. When we talk about Egypt and its greatness, Egypt had to defend this agriculture. It had to defend its wealth. It had to struggle. Often, sometimes it had to take from. People lost lives and they took risks and chances. And too many of us want to the goodies without taking any risk whatsoever.
Our next lecture looked at the critique of Eurocentric psychology. And we indicated then that the function of Eurocentric psychology, like the function of any Eurocentric discipline, is to maintain the status quo. Is to maintain, of course, European dominance. It doesn't matter whether it's psychology or sociology or economics or mathematics or engineering, whatever it may be, ultimately it is geared to maintaining that status quo. The function, we said, of Eurocentric psychology is to cure our people into sickness. That the very cure itself represents illness. Because if that cure is designed to adjust our people to a system that works against the interest of those people, certainly then becoming adjusted to that system implies then becoming adjusted to oppression. And implies then a certain illness. The psychology and psychotherapy of the European is designed to maintain the social economic values relationships. And you can see it even in the relationship itself. White therapist, black patient, white paternalism, same kind of process, like consumerism going on in that therapeutic relationship. White values being projected through the relationship itself again. White man solving black man problem, even often if it's a black man who's doing it. There's still so in the therapeutic process itself is inherent the cultural ideology in and of itself. Let alone, of course, the other things that are going on. The function of that psychology we've learned is to depoliticize mental illness. To make us think that mental illness is purely a mental problem. And not a political problem, not a social problem, not a problem of oppression. To give individuals the impression then that the problem that they're suffering from is merely individual and merely that of personality. And that it is unrelated to the whole of the society in which they find themselves. And to limit then the therapy to the narrow focus of the therapist-client relationship instead of the relationship between European and oppressed. So the therapist, even in their direct relationship, even if it is a black one often, helps to maintain that status quo. So we see then that the Eurocentric psychology is an arm of the state, is a part of the state. And those of us black psychologists and black social workers, we recognize we still, to a great extent, work for the state and for the city. And we have to analyze our relationship very carefully, as well as our relationship to our clients very carefully, to try to subvert the helping to maintain the status quo through our activities. Those of you who are professionals certainly will have to watch that. Because many of us use that idea that I am a professional as an excuse not to become humanly concerned and politically concerned with our situation. The European psychological system is designed to aid
European imperialistic system in being more effective psychologically, in being more effective in its psychological warfare. And what a great heritage, and yet people respond to
I'm gonna
that.
have to stop for something to
Of
eat
course, one of the
shortly.
major
Jesus, I'm getting hungry as fuck, yo. I know my past couple streams been just like straight painting. That's because I've been playing the game a lot. I ain't gonna lie, son. I ain't gonna lie. As soon as I get out of here, I'm about to go grab something to eat and get back on the game. I know we chilling here a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sit around and shoot the shit. But we can do that in VR. If y'all want to just chill and hang out, I'll stream that VR shit. We can chill in there. It's it's my name, and then the year I was born at Yahoo. It's Travis Prince 81 at Yahoo. That's all. My first and last name and the year I was born. Travis Prince 81 Yahoo.com. Man, it's hot up in this thing. Jesus. Just working on that cover a little bit. Trying to you can see how choppy it still looks right here. I'm just trying to get a little bit more smooth and fluid and blend it in a little bit more. Make those highlights pop where that light is hitting it. And come back and add some more highlights in the shadow area down here too. So, woo, not that blue. I don't know what I got. It's some good, but I said, man, I don't be asking names. Got a little bit grind up right there. I'm about to, yo, thanks, bro. This is, oh, thickums, girl. Woo, boy, let me tell you, boy. Yo, my homegirl posted on Facebook earlier today talking about, I need a man to fix me a crunchy peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I almost died. And then her cousin said in the comment, who the fuck eats crunchy peanut butter? Had 3 different counts for you got that one? Pfft, damn. I'm trying to get one of my homeboys to try some crandom with me. Take him to my other homie's tea shop, the Scranton Botanical Tea Shop. Get him a cup of crandom tea for the first time. See how he like that shit. Carl, what up? Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, guys, for a minute. Like I said, I'm fucking hungry. Man, I've been fucking up my sleeping pattern as bad as fuck lately, dude. Like, I've been going to bed early, like 7 o'clock, waking up at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since like 2 something. I was up from like 2 to 8, then went back to sleep. Then woke up like 1 o'clock, my girl gone. I don't know what the fuck time it was. I'm looking around, couldn't find my phone. My phone fell in the goddamn couch. I've been like this for like 2-3 days now. Going to bed early as fuck, getting up super early in the morning, and like fucking up my sleeping rotation a little bit. Where the fuck my lighter went? Yeah, I'm about to blow this. I said I'm gonna grab me something to eat, turn that PlayStation VR on, and play that Firewall shit for a little while. Yo, that's what it is, man. I'm happy back in the stream, man. I've been doing a lot of work. Hey, go to my Instagram, Carl, and check out all my shit you ain't seen, bro. I got that Firewall VR. I'm about to go play that. My art suffers so bad when I get video games, and I know, like, for me, literally, video gaming is like an addiction. I swear, I feel it, bro. Like, when I play games, and I'm on a PlayStation for like 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm like, bro, that's like 2 hours I could have been painting. I always feel like that. I feel so bad about it. Like, I could have painted for 3 hours just now, but I played video games instead. And then I try to balance it, like, well, you know, Travis, you're into a lot of different things. You gotta, and I make excuses for this shit, you know what I'm saying? Just like a real addict. Word up, that shit is tough, bro. But when I get new video games, I don't hardly see the inside of the studio. That's why I be having to force myself to come in here for an hour. Nigga, you need to go paint for an hour. Get off the game, go paint. Okay. No, motherfucker, no, okay. Get off the game now. Right now. Trap, put the controller down now and go fucking paint. Okay, I'm going to paint. Shit. I haven't, dude. And got up. And got up at 8. Yes, sir. That's a long sleep. But, goddamn, my shit is normally like 9:30, 10 o'clock, sometimes 10:30. Because I try to get to the gym like by 5:30, so I'm normally up like 4:30 at least. But that's my work schedule too. Like, shit, working 12-hour shifts from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm just always up. Like at 4, but I've been getting up like 2-3 hours early because I'm going to bed 2-3 hours later in the evening. But it's all good though. I'll definitely check this. I never said I was politically correct. Dude, that's not PC. I never said I was PC. So what's your gripe? I never said I was politically correct. Look, if a motherfucker do some retarded shit, I'm gonna say he a retard. My bag. That's just how I grew up. You know? You know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker do some funny shit, I'm gonna call him a faggot. I know it's not politically correct, but I never said I was. Never said I was. That's awesome, dude. I definitely gotta check your stream out. I'm thinking about doing. Somebody said just a live chat stream about different things. Somebody approached me with one time, and I was down for it, but his work schedule is kind of hectic right now. But I wouldn't mind like having like just live conversation. Everybody's streaming at the same time. All of us are streaming, and then we're all in a chat room at the same time, and listening to all our viewers and reading comments and different things from all our viewers at the same time on whatever issue we decide to talk about, or whatever current event, like Aretha Franklin's funeral, the preachers fucking trying to cop a feel on the young bitch, the other chick falling asleep, you know what I'm saying? Disrespectful ass motherfuckers. That's why I don't even go to funerals. One motherfucker over there eating some goddamn Frito-Lays. Your hungry ass ain't eat before you came to the funeral. Disrespectful ass bitches. That's, you know what I'm saying? Why we still put people in the ground? That's a good topic to talk about. Should we still bury people? I mean, when you really think, I know it's weird, but really, 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 really think about it. Why? Why do we still take up acres and acres and acres of land known as cemeteries and put dead bodies in the ground in these little boxes and put them in the ground and cover them up with dirt? What is that? That's such an old practice. I would have like some biomass furnace, electrical plant or something. Bring all the dead bodies, just burn these motherfuckers. Wouldn't we make good fertilizer or something? I heard people get turned into tree pods. I think that's pretty, that wouldn't be nice. That would be nice. Put me in a pod and I'd be like food stuff for an oak tree or something, shit like that. Something productive. But just why did I start talking about this? I don't know. Anyway, that's a good debate question. Is burial still a logically realistic thing that we should be doing in 2018? This is the 21st century, guys. Can't we do something else with dead bodies instead of take up a lot of land? That's prime real estate. I'm definitely check that out, yo. But yeah, I don't know. We need to come up with some debate questions and topics and stuff and see what people say. Shit, burning like The Walking Dead. Everybody burns. Biomass and shit. I'm making energy off of that shit. I'll start the first plant, be a millionaire. Where's my PlayStation controller? Start turn this thing off. Alright, guys, catch me downstairs in like not even 5 minutes. I swear to God, I'm gonna turn this stream off, go downstairs and turn the other stream right on. Peace. See y'all in a minute.